Part 172. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1712. Xiao took the 3 or 4 pages and looked at them. This project was one that she had eliminated from the beginning. It was a website called Women's Street. It looked disorganized. It looked like a shopping website but not like it. It is a community but not a community, and the entire plan is written in a mess. There is no data, no persuasive analysis, and only a few sketches of the website. Besides, the shopping websites have been reshuffled now. Except for Dabao.com and JD.com, others, such as Dangdang.com and Yuhadian, which were very popular in the past, have had very little traffic. Now, there will be a future for shopping websites. Boss, is it necessary to make an appointment? Xiao asked. Xiaofang said, I want to hear them express their thoughts in person. These two people seemed to have difficulty expressing themselves in writing. Although Xiao was not happy, she had no choice but to do what Xiaofang said. Xiao said yes. When? Tomorrow morning or afternoon, Xiaofang said. Xiao nodded and I contacted them. Xiaofang stood up and left. She drove out of the underground parking garage and went to Lin Shuwen's LinkedIn language school. Lin Shuwen's school has now been moved to Sanbao. The self-built campus is quite large. Xiaofang parked the car in front of the school's administrative building and went upstairs to Lin Shuwen's office. Lin Shuwen saw Xiaofang and shouted happily. Xiaofang, why are you here? I'm here to collect the debt. Xiaofang smiled. You want a debt? What debt do you want? Lin Shuwen asked confused. Xiaofang shouted, okay, Sister Shuwen, you cheated so quickly, have you forgotten how you promised me in Shanghai? Lin Shuwen also laughed and said, Xiaofang, it turns out you are serious. I thought you were joking. Of course it's true, Xiaofang said. Okay, sit down first. Lin Shuwen came over, took Xiaofang's hand, pulled her to the sofa, pressed her on the sofa, and then sat down next to Xiaofang. Lin Shuwen said, I thought you saw Mr. Lu that day. She was talking to Brother Lu about cooperation, and you joined in on the fun and made casual remarks. Go, I've thought about it a long time ago. I've always wanted to come see you, but I'm very busy during this period. I told you when I met that day. Okay, Xiaofang, I don't care if you are true or false, or what you said, I will listen to you whatever you want to do, Lin Shuwen said. Xiaofang smiled, that's pretty much it? Tell me, what do you want me to do? Xiaofang said, just copy your Hangzhou model to major cities across the country. It is this model of intermediary plus training. As long as it has scale in China, you will have first-class universities and middle schools abroad talk about the basis for cooperation and establish cooperative relationships with these schools, which in turn will promote your development in the country. As soon as Xiaofang said it, Lin Shuwen understood. She also thought this road was very good. Lin Shuwen and Xiaofang said, now I have another advantage compared with other mainlanders. What advantage? Xiaofang asked. I am Taiwanese, Lin Shuwen said, now the mainland welcomes us to run schools in the mainland. The land for my school was approved by the Taiwan Affairs Office for me. If we do what you said, we can expand to all parts of the country. You can ask the Taiwan Affairs Office in various places for help, they will be very supportive, and several cities, such as Suzhou and Dalian, have even invited me to invest in running schools in them. That's great, Sister Shuwen, this is really one of your advantages, Xiaofang said. Lin Shuwen smiled, oh, we still have a big advantage. What advantage? Xiaofang asked. You, Xiaofang, Lin Shuwen said, if you contact those foreign schools, they will give you face if you come forward, right? Xiaofang smiled, I can help with this. Okay, then we can start. Lin Shuwen spread her hands and shouted. Xiaofang looked at her and said, Sister Shuwen, you are so refreshing. You just do what you say. That's how it is. I'm like this all the time, Lin Shuwen said. I didn't have anything. I wanted to open a clothing store, so I opened it in Ximending. It turned out to be very good. Brother Lu said that now there are more opportunities in mainland China. There are many in Taiwan, so I came here and opened a wedding photo studio, which was doing very well. In order to give birth to baby, the wedding photo studio was closed. My brother said that I could open a school, so I opened it. And it drives very well, Xiaofang said. When my brother told me, I had never opened a school. At that time, I was thinking, what if it breaks down? The worst I can do is to change my profession and start over. Whatever I do, I always have this idea and never look forward or backward. Just move forward with all your heart, and the result will be simpler, Lin Shuwen said. Young man Xiaofang praised, you are still a delicate and charming woman. I'm going to die, Lin Shuwen cursed. After the curse, both of them burst out laughing. Xiaofang said, then I will send 2 people over next week to make plans with you. Lin Shuwen said yes. Do you want to discuss this matter with brother old Tang Tang? Xiaofang asked. No need, Lin Shuwen said, he will support me in whatever I do. He told me that in the worst case, if I lose money, I will go home and he will support me. Xiaofang giggled, old Tang is so kind. Lin Shuwen said, it's really nice, you dote on me. After the serious talk, the 2 started chatting. Lin Shuwen asked, that Mr. Lu we met in Shanghai last time was so beautiful. Is he an old friend of my brother and his friends? Why have I never seen him before? Xiaofang said, they were friends with my brother-in-law when they were in Haikan. They lost contact and only met again last year. No wonder, Lin Shuwen said, she likes my brother, right? Xiaofang smiled and said, how do I know? By the way, how do you know? I can see that. Lin Shuwen said that she looked at Xiaofang and kept laughing. Xiaofang was puzzled by her smile and asked, why are you laughing? Xiaofang, you have to be careful, Lin Shuwen said meaningfully. Xiaofang asked, why should I be careful? I can see her and I can see you. You have to hold on tight and come on. Xiaofang's face turned red instantly and she cursed, you're going to die, you're talking nonsense again. Lin Shuwen giggled, did I say nonsense, Xiaofang? Why are you blushing if I say nonsense? Xiaofang was so ashamed that she said angrily, Sister Shuwen, I will ignore you. Okay, I won't say anything anymore. Lin Shuwen shouted, but after a pause, she couldn't help but said. Xiaofang, you and I are from the same country. I feel sorry for you and my brother. I just hope that you 2 can be together. I think if that happens, Bai Bei will be very happy. Your sister, Xiaofang, Zhao, I will definitely be very happy. Xiaofang stopped talking and lowered her head. After coming out of Lin Shuwen's place, Xiaofang drove the car, thinking about what Lin Shuwen just said. Her face was still burning. In fact, Xiaofang could tell without Lin Shuwen's explanation that Lu Yun liked Zhang Chen. Thinking of this, Xiaofang's heart would tighten. When she was alone, Xiaofang had to admit that she liked Zhang Chen's brother-in-law very much. She had liked this brother-in-law very much from the time he came to their house. Of course, it was definitely not the kind of relationship between men and women at that time. To like means to like this brother-in-law as much as one likes one's own sister, and accepts him as part of their family. After her sister was gone, this kind of love slowly began to change, and slowly began to change into a love between men and women. Xiaofang didn't know if this was love. If it was love, she didn't know if she loved her sister because she loved her. She loves everything about her. She loves Zhang Xiangbei and Zhang Chen. After her sister is gone, Xiaofang will always feel distressed when seeing them. She really wanted to be able to fill the gap left by her sister and love them like her sister. Xiaofang sometimes even feels that this is also her responsibility. Especially in the United States, Xiaofang had a very strange feeling when she was with Zhang Xiangbei. Sometimes she subconsciously felt that she was a family person and Zhang Xiangbei was her child, especially when Zhang Xiangbei Chen was also there, and when the three of them went out together, Xiaofang felt like they were a family. Just like she used to look at her sister, brother-in-law, and Bai Bei's family of three, sometimes Xiaofang felt that she was that sister, and she liked this feeling very much. It is this feeling as if she already has a home that makes Xiaofang reject all pursuits from the opposite sex. I already have a home, and I still have to take care of my children when I go home. Are you kidding me? Xiaofang also likes her current relationship with Zhang Chen. There is no barrier between her and Zhang Chen, and they can talk about almost anything. When the two of them are alone together, they are also very calm, not reserved, and do not feel uncomfortable. The pressure is to be together very calmly, and we are used to this calmness. Habits are often stronger and more lasting than love. Although it is not so dramatic, when a person gets used to another person, once the other person is not there, he will feel empty and unadaptable. Unadaptation is more painful than falling out of love, and falling out of love is short-lived. It takes a long time for you to adapt to the discomfort. Xiaofang especially likes Zhang Chen. When she comes to discuss something with her, she also knows that Zhang Chen is used to calling her to discuss with her and listen to her opinions. This makes Xiaofang is very happy. However, it is precisely because Xiaofang likes and cherishes her current relationship with Zhang Chen that she dare not go further. Whenever she has the idea of going further, Xiaofang feels that she is taking a big gamble, and the result of the gamble is there are only two, either win or lose. And her professional training makes it natural for her to avoid big gambles. Xiaofang had accurately calculated that she felt that she could not bear the consequences of losing. Once Zhang Chen did not accept her, their relationship would definitely take a big step back. Xiaofang could not bear to even retreat to being polite to each other, let alone not to mention it might even drop to freezing point. Since you can't bear the consequences of losing, you might as well continue as you are now, and that's fine too. Xiaofang let out a long sigh. Xiaofang can always stop rationally, and Zhang Chen is a relatively slow, even numb person in this regard. If there is no external force to push them together, these two seemingly smart people, in fact, they cannot handle their own affairs well. Xiaofang's phone rang, it was Xiao. Xiaofang picked up. Boss, I have made an appointment. They will come over at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Xiaofang said yes. After hanging up the phone, Xiaofang looked at her watch and saw that it was already past 4 o'clock. Then she looked around and was shocked. She was just thinking wildly while driving, and unknowingly, she drove downstairs in the dynamic zone. Xiaofang turned around and drove the car into the parking lot. Thank you Renjian Chair, Ni Guanjiao, and Hu for your rewards. Thank you to Renjian Chair, Ni Guanjiao, Hu, Do Shang 8B, and Book Friends 20210116121915804 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1713. Xiaofang went upstairs and saw Xiangnan in Zhang Chen's office. As soon as Xiangnan saw her, he called Aunt Xiaofang and ran over to hug her. Xiangnan came to report to Zhang Chen on the situation of the troop and the upcoming work. Now Feng Logui is still the nominal leader of the troop, but Xiangnan is responsible for all major and minor matters, and Feng Logui is just helping from the side. It seems that Xiangnan was the group leader and he became his assistant. There are two bosses in the troop, Zhang Chen and Tan Shehen. Xiangnan is not used to reporting work to her mother. Moreover, the two of them often argue with each other after just a few words. She would also reject everything. Xiang Nan's comment on her was not objective. Tan Shahen herself was aware of this problem. She told Zhang Chen, please take more care of the troops' affairs in the future. I'm worried that if this continues, Nan and I will sever the mother-daughter relationship sooner or later. Zhang Chen said, okay, I will save your life. Xiang Nan also likes to come to Zhang Chen to report work. Every time, Zhang Chen will listen to her finish everything she wants to say, and the two of them will start discussing again, with a completely loving elder and a way of getting along with juniors. This makes Xiang Nan is very useful. She complained that my mother never let me finish what I said, so she started arguing with me for a long time. She argued until I had nothing to say, and then she said, you continue talking after I finished speaking. She said yes, why didn't you say it earlier? If you had said no earlier, it would have been fine. Humph, did she ask me to speak earlier? I only said a few words before she interrupted me. Uncle, what do you think I should do? Zhang Chen laughed loudly and said, it's not surprising. The work relationship cannot replace the mother-daughter relationship. If Zhang Xiangbei comes to talk to me about things, it will probably be the same. I don't think so. I think she is just a little bit approaching menopause, Xiang Nan said. Zhang Chen's heart trembled. Calculated by age, Tan Shahen is really close. Damn, menopause is such a distant word. If Xiang Nan doesn't remind him, he doesn't know yet. If Tan Shahen is coming soon, then he will be there soon too. It turns out that he is already flying towards the old man. Naturally, Zhang Chen remembered what Li Yong said to him that night in the hospital. Li Yong said that when people around him disappeared one by one, he felt old. Zhang Chen thought to himself, don't worry, won't you be old when menopause comes? Zhang Chen sighed secretly. The next focus of the troupe is on two things, one is to participate in the performance of the Ministry of Culture, and the other is to send plays to the countryside. Although the troupe has been restructured, the task of sending plays to the countryside must still be completed every year, and sending plays to the countryside usually it is concentrated in March and April, and the time conflicts with the Ministry of Culture's rehearsal in March. Feng Logui himself proposed that he would not participate in the performance of Shakespeare and Tang Xianzhu in Beijing, and let young people participate. The troupe was divided into two parts. Great Shakespeare and Tang Xianzhu. If this play is performed in Beijing and still wins an award, it will be invited to perform in various places in the future. The other group of people, led by Feng Logui, completed the task of sending the drama to the countryside. Zhang Chen and Xiang Nan said, I agree with your father's suggestion, so you don't have to worry about anything. Say yes to the south. Xiang Nan hugged Xiaofang's neck, almost her whole body was hanging on Xiaofang's neck. She smiled and said to Zhang Chen, Uncle, will you invite us to Tuxianjiayuan for dinner? Zhang Chen said yes. He looked at his watch and said to Xiang Nan, we'll go together when your mother comes. Xiang Nan was immediately discouraged, curled his lips and said, we still have to wait for her. No way, Xiangnan, Zhang Chen said with a smile, your grandparents have returned to Yongcheng. Do you want to leave your mother alone? Okay, take this lonely old lady with you, Xiang Nan giggled. Zhang Chen was curious, and he called to Xiang Nan, come on, Xiang Nan, come here, I have something to ask you. Xiang Nan walked over and sat down opposite Zhang Chen. He straightened his back and sat respectfully. Xiao Fang walked over and stood behind Xiang Nan. Uncle, start by asking, Xiang Nan said seriously. Tell uncle, why do you hate your mother so much now? Zhang Chen asked. Unjust. It's not that I hate her, it's that she hates me, Xiang Nan shouted. Impossible, Zhang Chen said. How is it impossible? People call it critical realism. She is critical of everything I say. No matter what I say, she is always like this, like this, like this. She looks at me silently. When I saw that critical look in her eyes, I was so frightened that I couldn't control my words. Xiang Nan imitated Tan Shahan's appearance, and Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang couldn't help laughing. I won't tell you, you will see later. After eating this meal, my mother will say Nan Nan, at least 10 times. When she said this, it was not motherly love, but to stop me from talking. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang's stomachs almost hurt from laughing. Xiao Fang kept patting Xiang Nan's shoulders with her hands while laughing. What are you talking about? You are so happy. Tan Shahan walked in, and when Xiang Nan saw her, she also laughed. Zhang Chen quickly said, nothing, I'm waiting for you to eat. Oops, I was so busy talking that I forgot to book a private room. Zhang Chen called out and quickly picked up the phone. Opposite him, Xiang Nan had already stood up. At this time, he had his arms around Tan Shahan's neck, almost hanging on her body. Zhang Chen looked at them and shook his head. There are no private rooms at the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel on Yan'an Road, but there are still private rooms in Xiaosha. The four of them went to Xiaosha, where they sat down and the food was served, and everyone started eating and drinking. Zhang Chen asked Xiang Nan, how many fans does your Weibo have now? I don't know. I'm too lazy to look at it myself. That idiot Wen Wen is in charge, Xiang Nan said. Nanan, Tan Shahan shouted. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang looked at each other and laughed. Speaking of this performance, the Plum Blossom Award competition will also be held at the same time. Zhang Chen said, Xiangnan, I hope you can win a Plum Blossom Award for the Yongcheng Wu Opera Troupe. This is the first in the history of Yongcheng. Uncle, I will work hard to perform well, but I don't care about the award, Xiang Nan said. Nanan, Tan Shahan scolded. Xiang Nan stretched out 4 fingers and gestured towards Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang, indicating that this was the 4th Nan Nan. Zhang Chen almost spit out his drink. He stood up and smiled. I can't eat this food anymore. Xiao Fang and Xiangnan were also laughing. Tan Shahan looked at them in confusion and didn't know what they were laughing at. The 4 of them finished their meal at Tuxianjiayuan Hotel and went home separately. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang returned to the room and opened the door. They were surprised to find that the lights were on and Xiaoshu was sitting on the sofa. Zhang Chen asked, why are you here? Xiaoshu stood up and shouted, no need to change shoes, no need to change shoes, sister, you two come with me. Where to go? Xiao Fang asked. Go over there. 4 old people are waiting for you. They said that no matter how late they are, they will wait for you today. If you don't go, they won't sleep, Xiaoshu said. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang had no choice but to turn around and walk downstairs. Xiaoshu followed them as if escorting them. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang had already guessed 80% of what would happen if the 4 old people were looking for them now. Before that, Zhang Chen's mother and Zhang Chen, Xiao Fang's mother and Xiao Fang had already told them respectively. I think it was probably because these 2 people had not made any move yet that they became anxious, so they started to take joint action. Xiao Fang's face turned red and her heart was beating fast. The 3 of them arrived at Zhang Chen's parents' house. 4 old people were sitting there. When they saw them coming in, they looked serious. Zhang Chen smiled and said, hey, there is such a big battle, what important things need to be discussed? Zhang Chen's mother rolled her eyes at him and said, sit down. Zhang Chen sat down, and Zhang Chen's mother said in a gentle tone, Xiao Fang, sit down too. The only place to sit was the sofa next to Zhang Chen. Xiaoshu was still standing and there was no seat. Xiao Fang could only sit down next to Zhang Chen, deliberately staying a little away. Zhang Chen's mother looked at Xiao Fang's parents, and Xiao Fang's mother said, you tell me. Zhang Chen's mother nodded, looked at Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang and said, Xiao Zhao has been gone for so many years. Chen, Xiao Fang, I know you are very sad about Xiao Zhao's departure. We four old people are also very sad. I am afraid we will be even sadder than you. However, the dead have passed away, and the living must continue to live. Chen, after Xiao Zhao left, Xiao Fang has been taking care of Bai Bei for so many years. She treats Bai Bei just like her own mother. Chen, don't be heartless. I know, Zhang Chen said. It's good that you know. Zhang Chen's mother turned to Xiao Fang, I know that my son is a little confused a lot of the time, but he is not a bad person. We like him very much, Xiao Fang's mother said. Zhang Chen's mother took Xiao Fang's mother's hand and continued, Xiao Fang, don't dislike him for being much older than you. Xiao Fang's face turned red, she lowered her head and said If you two don't say it yourself, then we will say it for you, Zhang Chen's mother said, we hope that you can be together. Xiao Fang is Bai Bei's biological aunt. This time, it will be an even closer kiss. Zhang Chen smiled and said, what are you doing? Are you trying to order Yuan Yang music? Zhang Chen's mother stretched out her hand and hit him, then cursed, we still want to order the Mandarin duck score, and we have decided to order it. Regardless of whether you agree or not, we four old people have agreed. I agree, Xiaoshu smiled, we are all brothers-in-law anyway, so I don't need to change my words. Zhang Chen's mother laughed and said, it turns out that Xiao Fang is in the United States and we are anxious, but that is just because we are anxious. Xiao Fang is back now. If you are still so calm, we are anxious. Xiao Fang is too old. She is not young, even if she is giving birth to a child now, she is already an advanced maternal age. Xiao Fang, don't worry, when your child is born, Bai Bei will definitely like it very much. This jumped directly to giving birth to a child. Xiao Fang was so embarrassed that she lowered her head and blushed and remained silent. Let me ask, Xiaoshu said. As Xiaoshu spoke, he called Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone. Zhang Xiangbei was taking an imaging class. When he saw that it was Xiaoshu's call, he quickly picked it up and said in a low voice, hey, what's going on? You brat, let me ask you, if Aunt Xiaofang is with your father, do you agree? Zhang Xiangbei was confused and said, don't they often be together? Idiot, I mean, do you agree that Aunt Xiaofang will be your mother? Zhang Xiangbei was happy when he heard this is the best arrangement. Quickly, give the phone to Aunt Xiaofang. I will call you mom now. When Xiaoshu was talking, he was on speakerphone and everyone heard it. Xiaoshu handed the phone to Xiao Fang. Xiao Fang was embarrassed and pushed him away. Several old people laughed. Zhang Chen's mother pointed at Zhang Chen and cursed, look, your son is smarter than you. But Xiao Fang's action of pushing Xiaoshu away just now made Zhang Chen think that the old people were messing around with each other, but Xiao Fang herself had no such idea. Zhang Chen looked at his mother and said, you guys are like this, Xiao Fang and I don't dare to live in the same house anymore. Zhang Chen's words made Xiao Fang feel his displeasure. After that, she remained silent and did not express any opinions. Xiao Fang went back to the room first. Zhang Chen wanted to leave, but his mother held him back. Not only his mother, but also Lao Zhang was angry and began to educate Zhang Chen. Xiao Fang opened the door and went in, returned to her room, saw Xiao Zhao's portrait and urn, and started crying. Sister. I don't know how much time passed. Xiao Fang wiped her eyes, stood up and walked out. She was stunned when she opened the door. She saw Zhang Chen sitting on the sofa blankly, staring at the TV. There were snowflakes on the TV. Point. Xiao Fang bit her lip and walked over, standing next to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen looked up at her. Xiao Fang said, I agree with what my parents said just now, what about you? Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes at one time and 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you to the evergreen Yan Dadi, Zipanjiang 1, Kelvin, QTDJB, Xiao Hujuan Sa, Quadratic VC, Yuan Wang, forgetting about the future and only remembering the original intention,
Purple How, Tianying 1978, Lao Huang, Forgetting the Password and Starting Over, Eating Fish Brother, Sinful Orchid Finger, Book Friend, Monthly Ticket of 20180803025635047. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1714. In the morning, Tan Shahen drove her car out of the underground parking garage from the exit. When she went to work, Xiaofang happened to drive in from the entrance, and the two of them did not encounter each other. Xiaofang parked the car and went upstairs. She saw that the team members had already started working. They took out the hundreds of plans and rescreened them according to Xiaofang's request yesterday. Xiaofang found an empty table, sat down, and opened her laptop. In her mailbox, there were more plans than here, and she received several dozen new ones every day. Xiaofang has 2 email addresses. In addition to the email address printed on the business card, which has the company domain name suffix, there is also a private email address. This is when Xiaofang feels it is necessary, write it on the back of the business card with a pen and give it to the other party. Now, this personal email has become her work email, and clients will send really important business correspondence to this email. And that mailbox with the company suffix is filled with spam and bulk emails every day. She is used to opening this personal mailbox first every day, finishing the emails that need to be processed in it, and then opening another mailbox when she has time. Xiaofang opened her mailbox and saw several emails related to the Shuanghui Group acquisition case. She quickly opened it. One was from the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States of the U.S. Department of the Treasury. Xiaofang browsed the email and opened the attachment. It was a verbose form of more than 10 pages. Xiaofang filled out the form, checked it again, and sent it out after confirming that it was correct. Then I opened the email from the Spanish Nongfu Group. This was a mass email sent by the board of directors of their Nongfu Group to all shareholders, telling them that Hong Kong's Shuanghui International Holdings Co., Limited was launching a takeover bid for their group. The two parties are currently negotiating on this matter. This email was also sent to Xiaofang in bulk to tell her that they were proceeding as planned. Xiaofang read it and downloaded it to the Shuanghui-3 folder without returning it. Xiaofang then processed a few emails from American customers, as well as emails from project parties they had invested in. After processing them all, she looked at her watch and saw that it was already 11 o'clock. Xiaofang then opened another mailbox. After reading 2 emails, she no longer wanted to read them. If the project names were changed, these emails would be similar in format and content. Even the narrative style would be the same, all of which were very exaggerated. Storytelling style. People nowadays seem to be unable to speak or chat if they are not like this. This is true at home, abroad, and all over the world. When Xiaofang was on Wall Street, the biggest headache was that so-called successful people from China would come over to have dinner together in the evening. If you refuse, they are all good friends. Sometimes they were invited by clients, so I would be embarrassed if I didn't go. Go ahead. Although the faces and names of the people you meet each time are different, their style is the same. They are all storytellers with half meat and half vegetarian jokes. These people were very proud of themselves, with their eyes and nostrils turned upward, and they felt that they were simply going to liberate the American people and Wall Street. Xiaofang looked at it and just felt disgusted. She didn't know why people have become like this. If this is the case, will you die if you speak honestly? Will you still be able to chat? Chinese people are like this, and so are foreigners. They are just storytellers speaking different languages. What Xiaofang admires most about Zhang Chen,
her brother-in-law, is that she feels that he has not changed much from the man who could draw when he came home with his sister. No matter how big his career is or how much money he makes, he always looks like he is taking it easy and always maintains his pride. Pride is not arrogance, pride is a sign of self-confidence, and he does not bother to use other things, such as luxury cars and watches, and deposits etc. to bluff yourself. Proud people don't even bother to tell stories. Xiao Fang read 2 plans and didn't want to read any more. She didn't know how many venture capital companies invested in these people and how many plans they sent to groups. Xiao Fang was not very interested in this kind of thing, but I was in a good mood today, so I opened it and took a look. Now that Xiao Fang thought about the scene last night, she still couldn't calm down and her eyes were slightly red. Last night, she and Zhang Chen walked back to her room. Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao said, "Xiao Zhao, don't worry. I will stay with Xiao Fang for the rest of my life. Also, I will serve my parents and take good care of Xiao Shu. Xiao Zhao, please bless us." Xiao Fang also said to Xiao Zhao, "Sister, don't worry, I will take good care of my brother-in-law and Bai. Sister, no matter where we move in the future, there will be a room for you in our home, and you will always be with us, sister, do you agree?" Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang stood in front of Xiao Zhao's portrait and urn. Xiao Zhao looked at them with a smile. They felt that saying these words in front of Xiao Zhao here was better than standing in front of some priest and speaking to God. Even swearing is important. There are so many people on the earth. Who does God know? Can he recognize her? But Xiao Zhao has only this one sister and only this one dear one. Xiao Fang leaned on Zhang Chen's shoulder and said softly, "My sister will protect us. She has heard everything we said to her." Zhang Chen nodded. Xiao Fang closed her laptop, stood up and said to everyone, "Let's go, I'll treat you to lunch." Everyone cheered. Xiao came over with a smile and asked, "Boss, what's going on? What good things happened today?" Xiao Fang smiled. She remembered what Zhang Xiangbei said last night. She said, "This is the best arrangement." Xiao said, "Yes, boss, you'd better arrange it like this every day." "What a beautiful idea," Xiao Fang said. Zhang Chen came out of home in the morning and went directly to Kiyoshi Academy instead of going to the dynamic zone. On the first day, Xiao Fang seemed a little shy. When Zhang Chen woke up, she had already sneaked out of bed. When Zhang Chen finished washing, he went to his mother's place. When his mother saw him, she pressed hard on his butt. He patted it and cursed. "We were tossing and turning last night and couldn't sleep." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Wouldn't it be better to give you a surprise?" Okay, his mother looked at him with a smile and said. Lao Zhang looked at him and snorted, "Yes, you finally did something good." Zhang Chen knew in his heart that his parents already knew about him and Xiao Fang. Before Zhang Chen asked, his mother said to him, "Xiao Fang has already had breakfast here and went to her parents' place." Zhang Chen hurriedly finished his breakfast and walked out. He hesitated whether to go to Xiao Fang's parents' house. He was also a little shy. After thinking about it, he decided to forget it and see you in the evening. Anyway, his situation was the same as Xiaoshu's. In the past, he was his father-in-law and his mother-in-law, and next he was his mother-in-law. Zhang Chen went to Kiyoshi Academy to discuss something with Tan Shahen and Lao Tan. He had already told Xiao Fang about this matter last night, and Xiao Fang was also very supportive. However, Zhang Chen himself was not sure yet, and he had nothing to do with it. "I don't know whether it will be difficult to deal with it with the relevant departments." Zhang Chen arrived at Tan Shahen's office, and Lao Tan also came over. Zhang Chen told them his idea. He wanted to renovate the dynamic zone, demolish the original dynamic zone, and transform it into a half-acre commercial building. The first to fifth floors are still sporting goods wholesale markets, in the form of a store within a store. However, they will be combined with their logistics base in Hangzhou, and part of the warehousing and wholesale functions will be transferred to the logistics base. Here, it will be used as a store for those brand image store. According to the requirements, the area of the big international brands is even larger. For example, Nike requires more than 500 square meters, so that they can display all series of products. Zhongchen plans to build the entire building with 38 floors. The entire 6th floor will be the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. After completion, it will be the largest hotel in Hangzhou. Above the 6th floor, there will be twin towers, both of which are office buildings. The headquarters office of his own company is also located in an office building. It will probably occupy 2 floors, and the other parts will be used for rent. After Tan Shehen and Lao Tan listened to Zhang Chen's ideas, Tan Shehen said, if it is a completely commercial development, you will have to go through the land acquisition and storage center again. However, yours is a reconstruction project, so you can do it on the sidelines. I will help you with the relevant procedures. Let's do it. Zhang Chen said yes, thank you. However, when applying for approval, don't use the name of a half-acre commercial building as a dynamic zone. Otherwise, yours is not a reconstruction, but a new one. We will use the reason that the original dynamic zone wholesale market has affected the appearance of the city. If you ask for reconstruction, it won't be too late to change the name after the project is approved and the buildings are built, Tan Shehen said. Zhang Chen said yes, no problem, it doesn't matter if he doesn't change. Also, don't talk about using the 2 floors yourself and renting out the others. You definitely can't sell them anyway. Who cares about the rent? Just write that it is the office building of Banmushan Group. With such a big group like you, who knows? How many offices do you want? Tan Shehen said. Zhang Chen agreed. Forget it, I understand what you mean. It's up to me to write the report. Once it's done, Yao Fen will send it to you to have it stamped. Then, I'll make a copy of the original M-Zone warrant. Zhang Chen cupped his hands and said, thank you. Someone knocked on the door, and Tan Shehen said come in. It was Yao Fen who came in to deliver a document to Tan Shehen. When she saw Zhang Chen, Yao Fen laughed and said, congratulations, brother-in-law. This time, she didn't call him boss like before. Zhang Chen's face turned red. Tan Shehen was surprised and asked Yao Fen, what do you congratulate him for? Yao Fen lay down next to Tan Shahen's ear and whispered for a while. Tan Shahen laughed and shouted. That's good, Zhang Chen. You have finally achieved enlightenment. You are indeed worthy of congratulations. I congratulate you too. Let's go, there is no escape. You are treating us at noon today, and all 4 of us will go. Lao Tan patted the armrest of the sofa and said, hey, what are you talking about? Tan Shehen raised her 2 thumbs, put them together, and said to Lao Tan, Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang, that's it? Lao Tan understood and laughed. He said, okay, it's really worth celebrating. No, I have to call Tianlin over. She often asks about it. Don't shout, Tan Shehen said, this weekend, call everyone over and let Zhang Chen invite us again to celebrate formally. Today is a preview, just the 4 of us. Lao Tan said yes. The 4 of them drove to the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel on Yan'an Road. They walked up the steps and entered the door. They saw Xiao Fang and 2 people ordering food at the seafood pool. Xiao Fang! Yao Fen shouted, and Xiao Fang turned around. When she saw them, her face turned red and she wanted to hide behind her colleagues. Tan Shehen said with a smile. Don't hide, Xiao Fang, that's good. You 2 are so in tune with each other that you even think of eating together. Come on, let's share the table. Thank you Quadratic VC and Daos Hung 123 for the reward. Thank you to Tianying 1978, Huanyu Lengmu, Yuan Xiang, Yuan Wang, and book friends 201911021135467118 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 1715. After the meal, even the people in Xiaofang's team knew about the relationship between Xiaofang and Zhang Chen. On the way back, Xiao said to Xiaofang, "The food in Tuxianjiayuan is so delicious. Boss, you are now the boss's wife. Do you think you won't have to pay to eat here in the future?" Xiaofang burst into laughter. "I originally came here to eat for free. Why, the free meal is delicious." Xiao looked at Xiaofang and fluttered her eyelashes. "Boss, you really don't know the sufferings of the people. Of course it doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to serfs like us who have just turned over. Work hard, and soon you won't care," Xiaofang said. "Also, I'm warning you, don't talk nonsense like the boss's wife in the future. Why don't you just call me the landlord's wife? I know that the boss is not the kind of person who needs to rely on the boss. You are the boss yourself," Xiao said quickly. "Glib tongue." Xiaofang cursed and shook her head. There was no way. People really couldn't get along well. After getting along well, the boundaries between superiors and subordinates became blurred. However, Xiaofang liked this kind of atmosphere, not the one on Wall Street. At 2 o'clock, the two people Xiaofang wanted to meet came. They were both young men in their 20s and 30s. The acne on their faces had not yet cleared up. They were both thin and small, wearing the same style and color of clothing. The down jacket seemed to have been bought at a bargain price in a clothing store. The hem of the jacket almost covered the knees. There are two of them, one is named Wu Yu and the other is named Sheng Chunyang. The two of them sat there with their legs together and their hands on their thighs, looking a little shy. When Xiao brought them water, they said thank you, glanced at Xiao quickly, and then looked at her quickly. Even if they fled, they didn't dare to look at Xiaofang and speak. Xiaofang feels that these two people are very similar to the plan they wrote. They are in a half-open state, very real, and have not yet learned how to cover up and hide themselves. No wonder such people can't tell stories. Xiaofang said, "Please introduce yourselves first." The two of them looked at each other, their eyes shrinking back, both wanting to let the other come first. Xiaofang pursed her lips and smiled and said, "Wu Yu, you come first." Wu Yu's face turned slightly red and he began to stammer his introduction. "The two of us, that one is a classmate, both graduated from the School of Electronic Engineering last year. Then, he is now working as a programmer in Huilei Company, and I don't have a job yet." "You haven't found a job since graduation?" Xiaofang asked. "No, I worked at Debo.com for half a year, and then, the first 3 months were internships, and the last 3 months were probationary periods." "Then why didn't you continue?" Xiaofang asked. Wu Yu said honestly, "They didn't want me." Xiaofang nodded and turned to Sheng Chunyang, "What about you, how are you? What does your Huilei company do?" "After I graduated, I went to Huilei Company. We were engaged in financial software. I am still in this company now," Sheng Chunyang said. "Where do you work?" "Programming." "What type of code do you write?" "That's the code." Xiaofang smiled. She felt that there was no need to ask any more. If she continued to ask, she wouldn't be able to find out the reason. Xiao shook her head beside her. Xiaofang said, "I read your plan, but I don't understand it very clearly, and I feel that you didn't express it very clearly either." Yes, none of us can write, we just don't know how to write, so we write randomly," Wu Yu said. Xiao teased him, "You are too brave, you dare to send it here with random writing." Wu Yu glanced at her quickly, then quickly avoided her eyes, running out of words. Xiaofang said, "But if you are looking for investment, you can't express what you want to do clearly, and others can't understand it, so how can they invest money in you? The two looked at each other again, and Wu Yu said, we have a completed website, but it hasn't been uploaded yet. Can we show it to you? Of course, Xiaofang said. Sheng Chunyang took out a thick Lenovo laptop from his computer bag. There was a big word Hualei on the computer. It was obviously his work computer. He then took out another, put the CD into the optical drive, then pushed the computer towards Wu Yu and said, you come. Xiaofang and Xiao walked behind Wu Yu. Wu Yu clicked on the G drive and then clicked on a folder. Xiaofang's eyes lit up. The interface of the website in front of her was completely different from the two people. The main color of the website was pink, and the picture was simple and well organized. It is fashionable and has some elegance. At first glance, it looks like a very formal and high-end website. Did you do this yourself? Xiaofang asked. He designs and I program, Sheng Chunyang said. Xiaofang waved, and several other people from the team came over. One of them exclaimed when he saw it, it's so beautiful. Xiao Wu, can you introduce it to us? Xiaofang said. Good. Wu Yu started to introduce while clicking through the web pages. He was still stammering when he introduced himself before. Now when he introduced the website, his speech became very fluent. Their website, to be precise, should be a community shopping website. On the website, different people can form small communities based on their love for the same item. Here, you can write your mood diary and share it with everyone, or you can write down your feelings about the item. Share it with everyone, and community members who agree with you will hang a wind chime for you. Everyone can serve as an initiator and share your favorite clothing and cosmetics to form a community centered on you. The website will introduce these clothing and cosmetics to you and automatically match several different links, such as Debo.com and JD.com. Vipshop and Dangdang, you can compare prices with each other. At the same time, you can also form your own shopping group for a certain product, and then go to negotiate with merchants for group purchases. Products in all categories will be automatically sorted according to the member's rating, because you can choose your online name at will, but when registering as a member, it must be authenticated by real name, so this rating is relatively difficult to fake, and it is relatively fair. There is no registered member. Visitors have no right to rate. Xiaofang asked Xiao and another girl, if there was such a website, would you log in? Xiao said, I know it. At least I don't have to compare what I want to buy and where to buy it cheaper. It will give me the answer right here. Another girl said, I will too. Here I can communicate with people who like the same things, and it is easy to make friends. Moreover, people with difficulty in choosing like me can leave the choice to others. Xiaofang, Wu Yu, and Sheng Chunyang said, you are a professional women's community shopping website. Did you come up with all this yourself? Mainly because he wants to, Sheng Chunyang said. You also have a lot of ideas, Wu Yu said. Xiaofang quickly waved her hand and said, okay, you too, I can see that you are usually homebodies, right? Both of them nodded. Xiaofang said, two otakus spend all day at home wondering about girls' shopping psychology, you are really good at it. The other people laughed softly. Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang blushed. Xiaofang said, don't misunderstand me. I don't mean anything else. My words are literal. I think you can do it. However, there is a problem. What's the problem? Wu Yu asked. Are you planning to start a business, just the two of you? Xiaofang asked. Both men nodded. Then who will be the boss between you two? Both men pointed at each other. Xiaofang smiled and asked again, which one of you has management experience? Both men shook their heads. Xiaofang said, after the website is actually launched, it will definitely not be enough for the two of you. It will also recruit a lot of people. The greater the traffic, the more people will be needed. Not only will there be professional technical personnel, but also these people will be hired, you may be good at it, and there are also artists, copywriters, promotions, customer service, administration, and financial staff. Who is in charge of these people between you two? Both of them were stunned. It turns out that you haven't thought about this problem, Xiaofang asked. Wu Yu said no. Then you are starting to think now, do you have any ideas? Xiaofang asked. Both of them looked at Xiaofang helplessly. Xiaofang said, well, let me tell you the truth, we can invest in your website, but if you only rely on the two of you, we will not be able to form a complete entrepreneurial team, and the money invested in you will definitely be wasted. Moreover, I also tell you that in your current situation, don't look for investment anymore, no one will invest money in you. The two of them looked at each other, and then looked at Xiaofang's eyes, already a little desperate. Xiaofang's conversation changed and her tone slowed down. She said, of course, we can also assign a CEO to you, but you may not be able to support the CEO we assign to you. Secondly, conflicts will easily arise. We are generally used to being bystanders and giving advice. Suggestions. The first piece of advice I give you now is that it's best if you can form a complete team yourself. By the way, think about it carefully. Are there any such people among your classmates and friends? Wu Yu said with some pride, they are better than us. Sheng Chunyang seemed to have remembered something. He leaned down and whispered something into Wu Yu's ear. Wu Yu asked hesitantly, is it okay? Xiaofang smiled, can I know what you are whispering about? Sheng Chunyang said, Wu Yu has a sister who works as an office director in a company. I said we can find her. Okay, sister, can you contact me now? Xiaofang asked. Wu Yu said yes. Call her and see if she can make time to come over. If she can come over, I want to meet her. Wu Yu said okay, I will call her right away. Xiaofang picked up her mobile phone and handed it to Wu Yu. When Wu Yu pressed the number, his hands were shaking. When the call went through, Wu Yu called sister, looked at Xiaofang and the others, stood up and walked to the window. Looking outside, he explained to his sister in a low voice. After a while, he came over and asked Xiaofang. My sister asked her when she would come over. If it's convenient, I can do it now, Xiaofang said. Wu Yu immediately talked to his sister, and then told his sister the address here, shouting nervously, please remember it, don't make a mistake. After hanging up the phone, Wu Yu let out a long breath. Thank you Hu Hu for the tip. Thank you Hu Hu, Yunlong Frogfish, Jinwu Longji, Rainman, Book Friends 2018052311285765, Book Friends 201710262258322742, take a leisurely look at the landscape, embroidery on the steel plate, Zi Zhang said, Guandian Electrical and Mechanical's monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1716. Wu Yu's sister is named Wu Huan. She is 26 years old and currently works as the office director of a pharmaceutical chain company in Hangzhou. She graduated from a technical college in Changsha. You can tell the name of the school when you hear it. Pheasant University is also suspected to be Pheasant University. Xiaofang knows that with such a diploma, in the workplace, you can only be lucky enough to enter a certain company and work in the lowest level position, the kind of position that even junior high school students can do. Everything in the future will have to depend on you. As expected, Wu Huan was the first to join the company and worked as a delivery person, that is, following the van every day to deliver medicines from the medicine warehouse to the company's chain pharmacies scattered throughout Hangzhou. Wu Huan has a round face and short hair. She is not good looking, but not ugly either. She belongs to the very ordinary type. When Xiaofang chatted with her, she found that her language was very bright and her expression was very direct, without any unnecessary words. The modifiers will not go around, so you can immediately know what she said and what she wanted. Xiaofang asked her, "Do you know what Wu Yu and the others are doing?" "I know, but he doesn't even look for a job. He wants me to support him. Why don't I know what he is doing?" Xiaofang and Wu Huan said, "I am very optimistic about their project and can invest in it, but just the two of them cannot form an entrepreneurial team." Wu Huan said, "I know that if it were the two of them, the company would definitely close down. Can you join their team? That is, start a business with them?" Xiaofang asked. "Let me think about it, this happened too suddenly," Wu Huan said. Xiaofang said, "Of course, I can give you time to take the exam." "I've thought about it, I can," Wu Huan said. Xiaofang was surprised, so fast. "Yes, I agree to take the gamble." "Bet? How do you say it?" Xiaofang asked. "It's very simple. My brother is focused on this. If I don't let him try once, he won't give up. I will accompany him once. No matter whether it is success or failure in the end, I, as a sister, have also tried my best." Wu Huan he looked at Xiaofang and said. Xiaofang nodded and said, "Wu Huan, I know that it is not easy for you to achieve the position you have today in your current unit. Indeed, I have worked hard for 5 years," Wu Huan said. "So I want to remind you that if your business fails, you may have nothing," Xiaofang said. "It doesn't matter. At worst, I can find a job and start over." Xiaofang's heart moved and she couldn't help but glance at Wu Huan again. These words seemed familiar to her. She had heard them from Lin Shuwen. Xiaofang turned to Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang and said to them, "I must now tell you about the road ahead. This is not a prediction, but based on my personal experience of dealing with thousands of companies and studying various types of companies for so many years. What I said is a judgment based on my personal experience. It may not be completely correct, but it is basically correct. Are you willing to listen?" Wu Yu, Sheng Chunyang, and Wu Huan all nodded. Xiaofang said, "I must first dispel some of your unrealistic imaginations. You should never expect that this project of yours will one day surpass Debo.com or Amazon. If anyone has told you this, they are deceiving you. If you think so, you are overthinking. Why? Because this is determined by consumers' shopping habits and mentality, as well as by community-based shopping websites like yours themselves. It is destined to only gain a small number of fans. Most people shop online for the sake of pictures. It's fast, hassle-free and cheap. Many people go to Diabeo.com and after receiving the goods, they don't even bother to leave a review. The system defaults to positive reviews. There are still a small number of people who still need the system to confirm receipt and payment. It is impossible for these people to become your members. There are also some people who are not so extreme, but they just go online to shop and don't like any community. Even if the function of shopping around cannot change their consumption habits. Also, in any online community, there will be times when people get tired of it. Its cohesion is very poor. In the past few years, everyone was stealing food and registered on Renren. How many people will log into Renren now? I'm afraid there are more people looking for American TV series than logging into the community, right? All of this means that your website only belongs to a small number of people and cannot cover all consumers. Of course, when I say this, I am not denying the value of your website, but I want to tell you that your website is in a phased state. A website is a website that will be valuable for a period of time, but will eventually be abandoned by consumers. Then it's not worth doing, Wu Huan asked. No, it's not that staged things have no value, but that we need to have a clear understanding of how to maximize its value at this stage. There are many people who can't see this clearly. The most typical one is ChemChina.com, When Alibaba wanted to acquire it, their boss felt that he could go further and refused to sell. But now, even if they want to give themselves to Alibaba, Alibaba probably won't want them, because Alibaba's Qinxintheng and Chinese suppliers have already covered the entire business of China Chemical Network. Everything we buy and use is a phase, whether it is clothes, food, or cosmetics, as big as a car or a house, so phase things are also good things, but you can't say that when you are 20 years old, you are still going to wear the clothes you wore when you were 16, no matter how many heads you turned your head at the time. It makes sense. Wu Huan nodded and said. The same goes for websites, such as Dibayo, JD.com, and Amazon. They will also be eliminated one day. They are also phased products, but the end point is not yet visible. Xiaofang said, I am telling you this, I want you to have a clear understanding that the lifespan of your website is shorter than theirs, and you can see the end from the beginning. Xiaofang looked at Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang opposite, and emphasized again, this is very important, do you understand? Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang nodded. Tell me, do you understand? It will deepen the impression, Xiaofang said. Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang said, I understand. Okay, you understand, let me tell you where the endpoint of your website is. There will be two endpoints. One is, I hate all projects, and the purpose is to be listed on Nasdaq. But one of the destinations for your website is to be listed on Nasdaq. After several rounds of financing, it will not be difficult to finally go public on Nasdaq. But, believe me, after I go public, it is not your starting point. Although I hate to say this, it will only be your turning point. After that, your website will slowly decline instead of getting stronger. Some things can be saved even with money. It doesn't mean that you have money. At that time, the choice is your business. I will definitely choose to make a profit and leave the market when it is listed. This is my purpose of investing in you now, but at the turning point, I must leave the market, and I must also be responsible to my clients, otherwise I will not be a qualified investment people. Another possibility is that when your traffic reaches a certain level, Dibayo or JD.com will come to acquire you. Compared with them, you are just an ant, but even ants can't stand you distracting them. Traffic, they will not create another ant to compete with you. The simplest way is to acquire you directly. When that time comes, don't hesitate, sell if the price is right, and don't still think about continuing to be listed on Nasdaq. The road will be even longer, and your traffic may have begun to shrink before you get there, and your value will be lost. So, when this opportunity arises, trust me, we will help negotiate a good price, you just need to agree, understand. They don't understand, and I understand too, that fruits need to be at their freshest in order to be sold at a good price, Wu Huan said, and Xiaofang laughed. At that time Xiaofang coughed slightly and continued. Wu Yu, you can hold a lot of money in your pocket and officially stay in Dobayo. You, Sheng Chunyang and Wu Huan, we can make this one of the conditions for negotiation, and you can also hold a lot of money. You have a good position at Diabayo.com, but as an entrepreneur, your journey is over, at least a phased journey. Xiaofang looked at them and asked, can you accept this result? Although it is a bit cruel. Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang looked at each other and said yes. Wu Huan said, so can I anyway, I have to work everywhere, and the company I work for is better than my current company, so I can accept it. Okay. Xiaofang straightened up, leaned back in her chair, and said, I've said what needs to be said. Now back to this project, Wu Huan, when can you resign? If I don't want the performance bonus, I can leave immediately, Wu Huan said. Wu Yu quickly said, no, sister, what kind of bonus do you want? Wu Huan looked at his brother, sighed and said, okay, I don't have to. Okay, the project I will give you is valued at RMB 10 million, is that okay? Xiaofang said. The three people on the opposite side were all startled. Xiaofang smiled and said, "Of course, if you think it is too low, you can also ask a third party to evaluate it, but do you have anything for them to evaluate? I suggest you save yourself the trouble." Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang nodded repeatedly, and Wu Huan said, "That's enough. I also think their stuff is so great that it can cost 3 to 5 million yuan." Xiaofang smiled, 3 to 5 million, if we recruit all the people and buy the necessary equipment, we won't have any money to pay wages. The three of them also laughed, and Xiaofang said, "The company is valued at 10 million, and our company holds 40% of the shares. In other words, I can give you 4 million, and you can discuss how to distribute the 60% of the shares." After Xiaofang finished speaking, she stood up and walked away, leaving the three of them there to discuss. Only 5 minutes later, Wu Huan shouted, "We have discussed it?" Xiaofang walked over, and Xiao followed immediately. Wu Huan handed Xiaofang a note. Xiaofang saw that the equity distribution above was 25% for Wu Yu and 25% for Sheng Chunyang, and 10% for Wu Huan. Xiaofang handed the note to Xiao and told her, "Go draft an agreement." Xiaofang said to them, "The agreement has been drawn up. If you see that there are no problems, you can sign it. The 4 million will be paid immediately, and you can start working tomorrow." The three people were shocked again, and Wu Huan asked, "So fast?" Xiaofang smiled, "Why, do we still have to wait for someone's approval?" "Oh, you are the boss, of course you have the final say," Wu Huan said. Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang looked at each other and smiled brightly. Xiaofang remembered and said, "You don't have a working place yet, so there won't be many people at the beginning. If you don't mind, you can squeeze in here. Our team will make the transition here in half a year and 10 months, after we move out, this entire house will be available for you to use, so you can also save some money." Xiaofang's idea is that this is a young and immature team, and they need to be helped from time to time. At the same time, her team in Hangzhou is also a young team, so let them take a closer look. One project is how to build something from scratch is also an accumulation of experience for them. Thank you Quadratic VC, 0HJKLG, 2 fishes 1 up and 1 down, for the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you Dachuan, Wang Qingxi, PCM 600812, Book Friend 160403163531329, Zipanjiang 1, I have 10 hearts, Huandian Electromechanical, Book Friend 201708030917288653, Blue and Clear, No Future, Only Remember the Original Intention, Purple Hen, Little Gatekeeper, and How, Think About Things and Think About Things, Ordinary Things Are True Happiness, Yunlong Frogfish, Book Friends 201710262258327242, Book Friends 0910261531555820, Book Friends 2019060521480107 monthly tickets. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1717. On Saturday, Tan Shuhen just asked Zhang Chen to treat him to a treat to celebrate that he and Xiaofang were together. Zhang Chen fully agreed, why not just treat her to a guest? What a big deal. When he and Xiaofang arrived at the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel on Yan'an Road, they were still shocked. He didn't expect so many people to come. The partitions in the middle of the 5 private rooms on one side of the building were all removed, and all 5 tables were seated. Full. Zhang Chen scolded Tan Shuhen, "What are you doing? Do you want to tell the world?" Tan Shuhen looked at him, nodded solemnly and said, "Yes, I want to tell the world." Zhang Chen felt guilty when he saw Hui Huan and Wen Wen among the people who came. He felt that this damn Tan Shahan probably knew something. Zhang Chen didn't dare to say anything because of this. Of course Tan Shahan knew that Hui Huan and Wen Wen liked Zhang Chen, and she guessed that their relationship had taken a big step forward and then taken it back again. Who told her that she was the roundworm in Zhang Chen's stomach? She even went out of her way to give Lu Yun a beating after picking up the phone. Lu Yun happily came with Xiaomi. Tan Shahan felt that there were many things that did not need to be explained. Inviting them to dinner was the best explanation. She even called Cao Minfang and Lao Xie over. Lao Xie was Zhang Chen's friend and was about to report back to the head office. Tan Shahan, the purpose of calling Cao Minfang here is that Sanya is high in the mountains and the emperor is far away, but you at least need to come and meet the proprietress. Although Xiao Fang had never intended to interfere in Zhang Chen's company affairs, and she had taken the initiative to help before, in the future she had made up her mind that she would not take the initiative to help unless Zhang Chen asked her. Zhao Jingjing, Su Qiaxin, Zhao Xian, Hagen, Ji Yiling, Huo, Qian, Zili, Li Wei, Xiao, etc., senior managers of Zhang Chen Company, Tan Shahan, etc. were all called, and others like Han Jiao Bang and friends such as Chu Tianlin, Wu Ziyawai, Sister Gihua, Lin Shuwen, and Lao Yang did not lose any of them. At the troop, Xiang Nan also came with Feng Logui, Teacher Wu, and Yin Tao. Lao Wan, Zheng Huiyang, Qian Fang, and Li Yang also came. Xiao Fang was very happy to see so many people arriving. She told Tan Shahan that it was great that there were so many people. Then we wouldn't even have to hold a wedding. You dare, Tan Shahan said. Really, Sister Shahan, as long as the two of us get along well, it's fine. I really don't want to have a wedding. Besides, we don't have that time, Xiao Fang said. Zhang Chen remembered, Xiao Zhao and I have never held a wedding. Tan Shahan glared at Zhang Chen and cursed, you want to be so cheap that you marry 2 daughters and not even hold a wedding. Xiao Fang giggled, hasn't Xiaoshu already done it? It can satisfy the elderly, so we don't have to do it. Tan Shahan was helpless. She shook her head and said, let's talk about it later. Let's listen to the old man's opinion first. The old people won't have any objections. They are already very happy when we are together, Zhang Chen said. What they want most now is to see Xiao Fang's belly grow as soon as possible. You, Xiao Fang said angrily. Tan Shahan couldn't help laughing. With so many people together, it was certainly very lively. Everyone toasted to Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang. Hui Huan and Wen Wen also toasted with everyone, but they had mixed feelings in their hearts. Lu Yun came over with a cup in hand and said to Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang with a smile, congratulations. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang quickly said thank you. Xiao Fang and Lu Yun said, Sister Lu Yun, I will take your car back to Shanghai tomorrow. Lu Yun said yes, no problem. During this meal, there were several live treasures such as Huo, Wu Kai, Lao Tang, and Li Yang, eating, drinking and making trouble until about 10 o'clock in the evening. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang returned home. After taking a shower, they felt that their stomachs were still full, so they went to sit on the sofa outside. Xiao Fang rested her head on Zhang Chen's lap and watched TV. After watching for a while, she looked towards Zhang Chen. Looking at it, I found that his eyes were dull and he was thinking about something. He was not watching TV. Xiao Fang asked. What's on your mind? I'm thinking about the company, Zhang Chen said. Xiao Fang sat up and asked, what happened in the company? While eating earlier, I saw Lao Wan, and I thought, look, people like Xiao Li, Ji Yiling, and Brother Hagen all arrived at the company at almost the same time as Lao Wan. Oh, Lao Wan a little earlier than them, he came when he was in Sanbao. No, Xili was earlier. Your sister and I were still opening a store in Sijiking, and she is our salesperson. Regardless of this, what do you want to say, Xiaofang interrupted him. I was wondering if it is unreasonable that Lao Wan's current income is several times that of theirs. Logically speaking, they have worked just as hard as Lao Wan, but they are just in different companies, Zhang Chen said. There is no absolute reasonableness. The industries are different and the companies are different. They are listed companies, so of course their income will be higher, Qian Fang said. Why can listed companies be higher? Zhang Chen asked. Xiaofang took the remote control and simply turned off the TV. Xiaofang said. The salaries of listed companies are set by the board of directors. When the board of directors sets these salary standards, to be honest, they are irresponsible because they do not provide the money, and many of the company's executives are board members. Of course they turn their elbows towards themselves. Also, the salary is only part of it, and there are dividends, so the income is high. However, no matter what, these must be earned. I don't feel that those listed companies are more profitable than our company, Zhang Chen said. There are also a bunch of morons who just divide up a good company and take it for themselves. Within a few years, the listed company is finished. The directors and senior executives are all very fat. There are quite a few such companies, both at home and abroad, Xiaofang said. Don't think about these bastards, Zhang Chen said. If your company goes public, Zhao Jingjing's income will also increase. What, you want to go public? Xiaofang asked. I don't want to cause that trouble, Zhang Chen said quickly. Is there any way to give them more income without going public? I mean, it's not the kind of money that is directly stuffed. That will only make people lazy. Of course, Xiaofang said, in our country, there is excessive publicity, so everyone seems to think that listed companies are the best company form. In fact, it is not. Listed companies have many shortcomings, such as excessive pursuit of financial reports. Looks good, only pursues immediate benefits, and does not pay attention to the long-term development of the company. There will also be insufficient redevelopment capabilities and funds for enterprises. As I said before, how can you invest after all the money has been distributed? You can only rely on issuing new shares and refinancing to blow up the bubble bigger and bigger. When encountering a hostile takeover by barbarians, it will be even more troublesome. The entire company will become very fragile. Even if there are no barbarians, the governance structure of listed companies will be difficult to maintain stability and long-term consistency compared with those of unlisted companies. 6. With so many problems, why are there so many listed companies? Zhang Chen was puzzled. The development of listed companies is really not due to the needs of economic development and the needs of enterprises. Do you know who needs it most? Xiaofang asked. Zhang Chen shook his head. Xiaofang said, the financial market, that is, those who play finance, are most in need. You must know that the design of the entire stock market was not done by entrepreneurs from the beginning, but by bankers. They concocted such a complete set of game rules. Including the futures market, currency market, and bond market, they are all designed by financiers. They are not philanthropists, and they will not start early without profit. So in the stock market, listed companies are always supporting roles and their dolls. In the stock market, when you go public, a lot of people follow you to make money, including securities firms, investment banks, appraisal companies, law firms, notary firms, etc. When you delist, the company and shareholders may lose everything, but they won't lose a dime. When you buy and sell stocks in the stock market, you lose and you win, and they all make money. If you issue additional shares, they make another round of profits, because this market was designed by them, and only they can make sure profits without losing money. So these listed companies, looks very beautiful, but in fact it is entering the jungle of other financial players and being hunted by them. Zhang Chen nodded and said, I kind of understand. When you said you didn't want to go public, I understood and supported it, because I know that the capital market is one thing, but the actual business operations and company operations are another matter. Compared with listed companies, people like you are single-minded. A company owned by shareholders is actually the most stable and risk-free, and I'm not talking about operating risks, which exist in all companies. I understand, Zhang Chen said. Moreover, for a company like yours, as long as the boss of the company is big enough and has a far-sighted vision, he can maintain the company's long-term development. At the same time, the company's decision-making is also the most efficient, such as what new projects you want to invest in. Did you say it could be done immediately? If it is a listed company, it is impossible. At least it must go through the board of directors, major decisions must go through the shareholders' meeting. Some people will say that such a decision-making by one person will lead to decision-making errors. In fact, it is nonsense. When I am alone and make a decision-making error, it is my own pocket that suffers. There are a dozen directors who make wrong decisions. It won't affect their pockets at all. Who do you think will make more prudent decisions? A listed company itself is a paradox. Its ownership is dispersed and it looks democratic, but are its decision-making democratic? The institutional structure of listed companies guarantees the decision-making power of the board of directors and even the chairman's speech. Isn't this a joke? If so, what can you bring if you disperse the equity? When you disperse the equity, you also disperse the supervision rights. Why do many domestic state-owned enterprises not become better but worse after becoming listed companies? It is because after going public, the managers have not changed, the company's business model has not changed, and the decision-making mechanism has not changed. On the contrary, instead, the supervision mechanism has been lost. In the past, a worker could not stand it and dared to lift the factory director's desk. After the company went public, who would dare? I have seen too many listed companies. Their boards of directors can be said to be operating behind closed doors. No one is in charge. Who will be in charge? I bought your stock today and sell it tomorrow. I don't care whether you are falsely reporting performance or operating in violation of regulations. That's fine, as long as you can find a way to make the stock rise and let me make money. It's none of my business how your board of directors makes decisions. How many people who buy stocks will research what this company is like? Everyone has only one thought, that is, if your company goes bankrupt, the stocks in my hand have been cleared. Don't lose it to me. Thank God. Now, for the rest, it's up to you. So, I am right not to go public, Zhang Chen said with a smile. Even if you are right, at least you can't go public now, Xiao Fang laughed. How is it possible? Why can't a company as good as mine be listed on the market? Zhang Chen was unconvinced. It's just because your company is so good that it can't be listed on the market, Xiao Fang said with a smile. Your asset-liability ratio is so low and you have so many bank deposits. People can see that you are not a company short of money. Listing is for financing. Why go public if you don't lack money? Zhang Chen was stunned. Xiao Fang said, Teacher Ma's company was listed in Hong Kong. It was helped by a few people who came back from my Wall Street company. At that time, Teacher Ma's company had a very low asset-liability ratio and could not be listed on the market at all. You know what they did? What did you do? Zhang Chen asked. I helped him build Tianmiao Mall and collected a deposit of 100,000 to hundreds of thousands from each merchant. This part of the money was written on the liability side of the statement. In this way, his asset-liability ratio went up. Only then can we meet the conditions for listing. So that's what happened. Zhang Chen nodded, looked at Xiao Fang and said, however, you still didn't tell me how you can not go public and increase their income without forcing money. Yes, 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 yes. Xiao Fang shouted over and over again, I'll tell you right away. Thank you Quadratic VC and 0HJKLG for the reward. Thank you for the monthly votes of Xiao Shen, who is only 48, purple,
How can I not have the same name, and book friend 201906211331025336. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1718. Don't worry about the equity, just think of ways to distribute the company's profits. At the end of each year, profit dividends will be distributed, Xiaofang said, that is, a certain percentage of the company's annual profits will be used to distribute dividends to everyone. Zhang Chen said, yes, this is a good idea. I will help you design a scoring model, starting from the lowest level managers of the company, all the way to several vice presidents, and divided into more than a dozen grades. This scoring model not only takes into account the position held, but also the length of service in the company. In this way, some old employees who have been in the company for more than 5 years, even if they are not managers, can also participate in dividends, which can improve the performance of the company while everyone is motivated. It also increases employees' loyalty to the company, and at the same time, it is also for the sake of fairness. For example, like Su Kioxin and Xiaoli is now one level below Su Kioxin. She will suffer a loss in terms of job rating, but because she is older than Su Kioxin, she has bonus points, so she will not suffer a loss. With this scoring system, there is actually no need to judge, it is just a hard bar. Everyone's situation is put into it, and the score comes out. It is evaluated once a year and used as the basis for dividends. In this way, there is another. The advantage is that the number of people participating in dividends expands as the size of the company expands. As your scale expands, you will need more managers. Furthermore, if a manager voluntarily resigns or is fired, the bonus will be gone. His position will be replaced by someone, and the person who replaces him will obtain his original qualification and level for bonus. In this way, I think it is better than stock options. It needs to be more reasonable and produce results faster, and it is linked to the company's management structure, which can further ensure the stability of this structure. Zhang Chen said, yes, what do you think is the appropriate ratio? How about 80%? Keeping 20% of the profits for myself is enough for me to support my family. Xiaofang smiled and said, you don't need to take care of the family, I will take care of it too. Then do you agree with me doing this? Zhang Chen asked. That's your company, you don't have to listen to my opinion, Xiaofang said. Zhang Chen shook his head, no, Xiaofang, it will be our company from now on. Let me tell you, sometimes when I think of your sister, do you know what makes me feel the most guilty? Xiaofang said she didn't know. It's just that I feel that I was too arbitrary many times in the past. No matter what I do, I make my own decision before telling her. I just feel that your sister will support me unconditionally. Do you think I am a bit bullying her? Zhang Chen asked. Xiaofang shook her head and said, no, you have trust. It's like if you stand on a high place and fall backward, you know that someone will definitely catch you below. It's not easy for two people to establish such trust. Thank you, Xiaofang, Zhang Chen said, however, I still want to discuss anything with you in the company in the future, and you can also help me, okay? Xiaofang leaned over, snuggled into Zhang Chen's arms and said, okay, I will, but I still want to tell you that I am the same as my sister, I will support you in whatever you do. What about this, taking out profits and sharing dividends with everyone? Zhang Chen asked. Support, Xiaofang said, and Zhang Chen couldn't help but kiss her. Also, as I said, I also have money, and I can take care of my family. I can take care of the elderly and children, so I don't need you to worry about them, Xiaofang said. Zhang Chen smiled and said, then is 20% too much for me? That's okay, Xiaofang said, you can take 5% of the dividends and the remaining 15% as a reserve for the company in case of emergencies. Who knows if the company will encounter any emergencies,
it's not good to divide all the profits. You can't ask everyone to raise funds when you are in urgent need. Zhang Chen said, yes, it's better if you think carefully and I'll listen to you. Xiaofang nodded yes and said, I will make the model as soon as possible, so that it can be implemented at the end of this year. By then, you don't have to feel bad when you see Lao Wan again. Today is Sunday, and there is no work in the company. Lu Yun sent Xiaofang to Century Fairview. The two made an appointment to have dinner together, and Lu Yun then drove home. After returning home and sitting on the sofa, Lu Yun couldn't help but shed tears. She knew that Zhang Chen was a friend before, and he could only continue to be a friend in the future. Some people really miss it after they miss it. During the period when Meng Ping was hospitalized, Lu Yun drove Zhang Chen to and from Zhang Chen every day. At one point, she felt that the distance between them was already very close. If they moved a little further, they could be together. Lu Yun looked at the man in the passenger seat. The limp Zhang Chen once felt that he was in his arms and needed his comfort and care. Lu Yun cherished this process very much. She didn't expect that it would become nothing more than memories so soon, and they were memories that could only be sealed in her own memories. They were not the kind that could be shared one day with a little sweetness. Memories of irony. How wonderful it is for two people to have such memories. Lu Yun hopes that one day she and Zhang Chen can be together, but now, this door is closed and very heavy. After it is closed, it can never be opened again. Just like when she saw Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao together, she felt that they were very suitable. When Tan Shahen called her on Friday to tell her that she was invited, Lu Yun put down the phone and thought about it again. She had to admittedly, Zhang Chen and Xiaofang are also very suitable. If they are together, there will be no accidents. Why had she never thought that Zhang Chen and Xiaofang would get together before? She should have thought of it a long time ago. Xiaofang has never had friends of the opposite sex for so many years since Xiao Zhao passed away. Isn't it possible that she was just waiting? Aren't the elderly people in her family worried? Now we know that they are also waiting for the day when everything will come true. Thinking of Zhang Chen and Xiaofang again, Lu Yun sighed. She felt that everything about them really fell into place. Bless them. Lu Yun let her tears flow freely. She didn't even bother to wipe them. She felt that she had suffered enough from so many years of grievances. If you want to cry, just cry. Lu Yun even had an idea. She just wanted to see, when does a person's tears ever dry up? Starting from Zhang Chen, and then expanding to other things, Lu Yun herself was shocked. It turns out that she has experienced so many grievances over the years, and there are so many things worth crying about, so just cry, cry happily. After crying today, Lu Yun, will stop crying. Not knowing how much time had passed, Lu Yun took the paper towel on the coffee table and wiped it. She found that the paper towel was dry. It turned out that the tears could really be shed, but she had forgotten to record the time. Lu Yun stood up and walked into the room, which was full of clothes designed by Zhang Chen. Lu Yun had imagined some time ago that one day she could bring Zhang Chen to the store, open it, and surprise Zhang Chen. Then, if you want to laugh at me, just do it. My dear, I have always liked you and had a crush on you. How about it? Are you willing to continue laughing? Lu Yun thought of this that day and smiled proudly. I never thought that this day would never come, and such a scene would only remain in my imagination forever. Lu Yun took the cardboard box in the corner and started to collect the clothes on the shelf one by one, folded them, and put them into the cardboard box. Soon the cardboard box was full. Lu Yun sealed the cardboard box with a sealing tape. When sealing the box, Lu Yun thought that after the box was sealed today, it would never be opened again. Lu Yun smiled. She thought of the song about burying flowers in Dream of Red Mansions, and felt that her action of sealing the box was really like Lin Dai burying flowers. Lu Yun couldn't help but hum. People who are burying flowers today are laughing and laughing, but who will be buried next year, / just look at the spring flowers gradually falling, which is the time when the beauties die, / once the spring is gone, the beauties will be old, and the flowers will fall and people will die without knowing it. When she sang the flower falls and the person dies without knowing it, Lu Yun suddenly felt sour in her heart and couldn't help but shed tears again. Yes, yes, when one day I am no longer here, I really don't know what the fate of these boxes of clothes will be. They will definitely not be better than those left to them by the great-grandfather of the Frenchman Clement. If the painting is lucky, it will be bought by Zhang Chen and traveled across the ocean. The last painting will be cleaned, repaired, and hung in the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery for display. Thinking of Zhang Chen, Lu Yun couldn't help but sit on the carpet and burst into tears. Only then did she realize that people can't shed tears dryly. I don't know how much time passed, and when I had cried enough, Lu Yun stood up, took the second cardboard box, and continued to pack it. When packing the clothes, she bought these clothes herself. The joy she felt when receiving these clothes, it came to Lu Yun's mind again, and Lu Yun couldn't help but shed tears again. She just packed and sealed the boxes of clothes while crying. She didn't know how many tears she had sealed together in the cardboard box. After loading all these clothes, Lu Yun felt like she was exhausted. She didn't know whether she was tired from working or crying. Lu Yun walked outside to the living room and was startled. The sky outside the terrace began to get cloudy. Lu Yun picked up the phone on the coffee table and looked at it. There were 2 missed calls, both from Xiao Fang. "I'm going to die," Lu Yun exclaimed, quickly ran into the bathroom with the phone, turned on the light, and looked in the mirror. Her eyes were swollen like 2 peaches. "Climb, you look like this, how can we have dinner together?" Lu Yun called Xiao Fang back and said that she felt a little uncomfortable and would not go for dinner. Xiao Fang panicked when she heard this and shouted, "Sister Lu Yun, don't worry, I'll be right over." Lu Yun quickly said, No, I've already gone to bed. Just take a nap. When I wake up, if it's still early, Yaomei, I'll call you a midnight snack. Thank you Quadratic VC for the reward. Thank you Zipanjiang 1, Lu, look at the landscape, think east and west, and Thomas LHB for your monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1719. In response to strong requests from the audience, the special exhibition Return Them from 1911 to 1933 at the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery was postponed until March 10. Immediately afterwards, Zhao Xian and Xiaoshu held an exhibition in the evening after working all night to set up the exhibition. Yao Fen and Ji Ling also brought designers over to help. The next day, March 11, the special exhibition Them, Paris from 1910 to 1940 was grandly displayed at the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. What was on display this time was the large works inside the container. The opening of an art exhibition in China has never attracted so many foreign ambassadors and consuls general to China. They stood in a row on the stage and cut the ribbon together. Not only did this exhibition include the ambassadors and consuls general of the countries where the painters' works were exhibited, but also the French consul general in Shanghai. Although there were no works by French painters in this exhibition, there were so many painters from all over the world at that time. They are all studying in Paris, which is also a very proud and worthwhile thing for him to participate in. They are in Paris, this is something that Parisians and French people should be proud of. Along with these ambassadors and consul generals, there were also reporters from their domestic media. In addition, the previous art exhibition of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery caused a sensation in the country. This time, the domestic media also gathered here, plus the parking lot at the entrance of the Riverside Art Museum was packed with visitors who were eager to enter the museum. Fortunately, Zhao Xian and the others were already prepared. All the vehicles that came to attend the opening ceremony on this day were parked on both sides of the road outside the gate of Gentian Power Plant, and were directed to the nearby community. Sister Gihwa asked the security guards of the community to also come and help Zhao Xian and the others maintain order. Half of the visitors were teachers and students from Gome. This exhibition had caused a sensation in Gome before it was even shown. The reason was that Xiaoshu passed some photos of some of the paintings to his former colleagues at Gome. Watch with teachers and students. Everyone was surprised when they saw it. They didn't expect that in countries such as Vietnam, Mexico, Peru, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, etc., which were originally inconspicuous, there are still such a group of painters, and their works are actually outstanding. This surprised everyone. I was so surprised that I told my colleagues and students about it. This exhibition became famous in the United States even before it was shown. Lu Qing and others also came to report on this exhibition. Not only did they report it as news, but they also planned to do a special feature. Zhang Chen gave Lu Qing an idea. This time, not only did he appear on the scene to introduce these works, but also asked Xiaoshu appeared on the scene, as a first-class young painter in China, and the resident painter of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery, and talked about his feelings from his perspective. Lu Qing strongly agreed with this plan, but Xiaoshu said no, 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 let me just say yes, and if I tell many people, I don't know what to say. Zhang Chen said, you don't know what to say, so how do you usually explain it to children in the oil painting studio? I heard about your explanation, and the response was pretty good. Those are all children, Xiaoshu said. Are you tricking them? Zhang Chen asked. No, no. Lu Qing smiled and said, then just think of us as a children's show, and there are children behind the camera. Besides, why are you nervous? If it doesn't work once, do it a second time. If it doesn't work twice, do it a third time. Keep filming until you forget to be nervous. Until. Xiaoshu had no choice but to agree, and the shooting time was set to be at 9:30 in the evening, after the oil painting gallery closed. Then prepare yourself, Lu Qing and Xiaoshu said, are you like your brother-in-law and don't need to prepare? I can't, Xiaoshu said. Lu Qing followed Zhang Chen to the office upstairs in the dynamic zone. She pestered Zhang Chen and told him to make time for a trip to Europe in the near future. Zhang Chen felt a little embarrassed. The expansion project of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery has reached the final stage. In the Sky City e-commerce industrial park, the construction of their own factory has also reached an advanced stage. Zhang Chen is the most experienced in installing many equipment, pipelines, and circuits. He can give on-site opinions based on actual future needs to construction teams that have never built a garment factory. There are many things that designers cannot draw, and what they draw is not practical. It is not like Zhang Chen who grew up growing up. People who have experienced factory construction several times, really don't know how to install and arrange it properly, and it would be very annoying to change it later. And the most important thing is that the renovation plan for his dynamic zone has not been finally approved yet. This is his highlight this year. If he doesn't finish it for a day, he feels uneasy, even if he goes to Europe. Can you postpone it for a few months and go again in July or August? Zhang Chen and Lu Qing asked. Lu Qing said no, because then the material on hand would not be enough, and he would not be able to edit out so many things, and the broadcast of the story of paintings would be suspended. How many domestic episodes will you do? Zhang Chen asked. Why are you so shameless? The audience has already accepted our current arrangement. Painting talks about foreign countries, and one man's history of oil painting talks about China, Lu Qing said. Then let's make the paintings we bought. Those paintings are also very talkative. Zhang Chen came up with an alternative plan. Lu Qing looked at him and became a little angry, Didn't you say that we should do a special topic? I have already submitted the special topic to the superiors, and the superiors have agreed. Do you want to do the same batch of works twice? Zhang Chen shook his head, he had no more moves. Lu Qing was also a little irritable, but she didn't tell Zhang Chen about her troubles. What Lu Qing was worried about was their program. Starting from the second half of last year, the ratings dropped sharply, not only for their program, but for the entire TV station. The ratings of the programs have dropped sharply, and the audience seems to have gone to watch the various talent shows on local stations. When it comes to talent shows, no matter how hard CCTV does it, they can't do it as a local station. CCTV's directors all have a background in evening shows and are used to grand narratives. They all appear to educate and guide people. How could they be used to putting down their posture for the sake of ratings? To please the audience, besides, they are CCTV, they cannot just rely on ratings. Having said that, for any TV station, ratings are still a very important indicator. This is true for their literary and artistic programs, and even more for special programs. Compared with Lu Qing's programs, they are pretty good, like the previous ones. 100 Schools of Forum, which has been extremely popular this year, is even more miserable and is on the verge of being withdrawn from the shelves. For producers like Lu Qing and others, it is very disappointing if not many people see something you have worked so hard to produce. There is another reason that Lu Qing cannot talk to Zhang Chen, and that is that there are too many requirements from above. For example, in their special topic department, there are fewer and fewer things to shoot, and there are more and more things to avoid. Fortunately, their Scar Art episode has been filmed and aired a long time ago. If it were now, it would basically be clicked. She couldn't shoot this, she couldn't shoot that, so Lu Qing could only work harder on what could be photographed. This is why she felt that she had to visit several European countries and art museums as soon as possible to collect more materials. Lu Qing and Zhang Chen were sitting there bargaining. Tan Shehen came in from outside. Tan Shehen and Lu Qing were very happy to meet each other. The two started a heated discussion. Xiangnan's Shakespeare and Tang Xianzu yesterday they have already performed their first show in Beijing, and they will perform a total of 6 shows this time. Lu Qing and Tan Shehen said, after last night's performance, the response was very good. Really? Tan Shehen asked. Yes, my colleague called me and told me that several experts they interviewed praised the play, especially Xiangnan's performance. Thanks, thanks. Experts say that Xiangnan will be a first-class actor in any opera genre. The implication is that Xiangnan is a pity in a small opera genre such as Wu opera, Lu Qing said. What kind of small opera? We are the masters of Peking opera. Zhang Chen was unconvinced and shouted. Lu Qing waved her hand at him, showing disgust, and told him not to interrupt. As soon as the two women started chatting, she left Zhang Chen aside. Zhang Chen knocked on the coffee table with his hand and said, Hey, Tan Shehen, what do you want from me? Only then did Tan Shehen remember the reason why she came to Zhang Chen. Tan Shehen looked at Lu Qing and felt that it was okay for her to talk about it. Tan Shehen said, the renovation plan for your building has been agreed upon by other departments, but there is one last one, the Planning Bureau. I have made an appointment to have dinner with Director Sun tonight. When Zhang Chen heard this, he panicked and said, No, no, if I go, it will only make things more troublesome for Tan Shehen. The project is your project. If someone wants to meet you, why don't you hide away? I'm the only outsider performing a one-man show, Tan Shehen said. Didn't you handle the other departments by yourself? Zhang Chen said. Brother, I'm begging you, can you just show up and be a clay Buddha without saying anything? Tan Shehen asked. I invited you in the name of your company. Zhang Chen said, you can say that I went abroad. Tan Shehen was so angry that she was half dead, and Lu Qing patted the sofa and laughed. Tan Shehen said, then you can send someone to go with me, brother. Go to Senbeo Village, Jasa Village, Shanghai Luan District and Songjiang. I can be said to be your vice president. In front of Director Sun, I will always you can't talk nonsense, right? People know that I am beautiful even if I burn to ashes. Let me go, I can say that I am brother Zhang's assistant, Lu Qing said. Before Tan Shahan said anything, Zhang Chen shouted, okay, Tan Shahan, don't you think the problem is solved now? Lu Qing looked at Zhang Chen and said, I'll help you solve this problem. You really want to go abroad? Can you go to Europe for half a month? Zhang Chen quickly said, okay. Tan Shahan shook her head, sighed, and said, okay, then make a box of business cards for Lu Qing right away. Even if it's a painting, you can draw one for her. No, Sister Shahan, just go like this, Lu Qing and Tan Shahan said. Thank you to the human chair, Win San Liu, the doll tin soldier, the 2 fishes, and the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for the chair in the world, doll tin soldier, Mark, I197900607, salted fish sewer, wandering mayfly, Yuzazialiu, Milky Way, light and light, book friends 201912170332388847, Ashina Feng, clear mind, purple pie, dong long dong, crazy spear, I have 10 hearts, humorous tribe, CYTYP, monthly tickets are stuck. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1720. Zhang Chen was in the office, feeling anxious. His worries were justified. As long as the M-Zone reconstruction plan was approved, he would be safe and could continue to stay here for a long time. If it was not approved, he would be safe. A wholesale market like his in the central area of a city will be driven out sooner or later, and there is no way to avoid being demolished. Zhang Chen was scared of the demolition. He felt that his company had been wandering all his life. At around 8 o'clock in the evening, Tan Shahan and Lu Qing came back. Both of them were beaming with joy. Zhang Chen quickly asked. The problem is solved. Of course, Tan Shahan said. Zhang Chen then asked, how to solve it? Both of them smiled and said nothing. Lu Qing pointed at Zhang Chen and said, now you can stop cheating and come to Europe with me. Zhang Chen said, okay, promise not to cheat, I will just listen to your arrangements. Send a car to take me to the art museum. I'll do the preparations first. You come here on time at 9:30. No, it's better to be 10 minutes early. You also have to put on makeup. Lu Qing and Zhang Chen said. Zhang Chen nodded, just picked up the phone and was about to call the driver. Tan Shahan said. No, Lu Qing, please drive my car. I'll come over in Zhang Chen's car later. If you don't have anything to do tonight, I'll go watch your filming. Lu Qing agreed, took the car keys from Tan Shahan and left. After Lu Qing left, Zhang Chen asked Tan Shahan, can you tell me now how to solve it? Tan Shahan said that as soon as the eldest lady left, it would be solved naturally. Isn't it strange? Zhang Chen understood and shouted, Lu Qing said her father is Lu Changcheng. Damn it, Lu Changcheng will be furious if he knows. Only you have such an IQ. Tan Shahan chuckled, don't worry, Lu Qing didn't say anything. Director Sun will know her as soon as we go, okay. Lu Changcheng is the boss in Hangzhou at that time, Director Sun was the deputy director of the municipal government office. Do you understand? The turtle, who is so old, understood it as soon as he saw us going, and told me to go to his office tomorrow to get the approval letter. Next, People asked Lu Qing how her mother was doing, and how her father was doing. Tell me, does Lu Qing know who is in charge of the planning bureau now? Zhang Chen asked. Of course, otherwise they would volunteer to go, Tan Shahan said. However, they have a lot of face, so they have really helped you. If we lose our legs, it is not as good as their faces. Zhang Chen laughed loudly. Tan Shahan, when did you become so humble? When did you break your leg running? Tan Shahan scolded, you have no conscience. No matter how much we mess around, it's still our maid's fate. Didn't I run far enough for this ruined project of yours? Zhang Chen quickly raised his hands and said, thank you, thank you. Just after 9 o'clock, Zhang Chen and Tan Shahan went to the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery. After Zhao Xian came back from the United States last year, he changed the closing time of the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery and extended it to 9:30 every night. In this way, tourists who come to visit Meisi River at night also regard it as an attraction. Zhang Chen and Tan Shahan arrived. There were still many spectators in the art gallery. The two went directly upstairs to Zhao Xian's office, where Lu Qing and Xiaoshu were both here. Zhang Chen sat down and the makeup artist began to put makeup on him. When Zhao Xian and the others were setting up the exhibition last night, Zhang Chen was already in the exhibition hall. He had walked around the exhibition hall countless times and was very familiar with the whole situation inside. While putting on his makeup, Zhang Chen told Lu Qing and Xiaoshu that they would order the exhibition later. The route taken, and the approximate works that need to be introduced. Zhao Xian took out the floor plan of the art museum and gave it to Lu Qing. While Zhang Chen was talking, Lu Qing started drawing on the floor plan with a pen, so that when the time comes, walking along the route can improve a lot of efficiency. I learned this trick from Zhang Xiangbei when I was in New York. Zhao Xian took out a pile of information about these painters that could be collected online and handed it to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen looked at it and found that the amount of materials that could be collected was very small. Most of them returned to China. All unknown. At that time, it was the most turbulent period in the world. War was spreading all over the world. Art and artists were especially pale during this period. If it weren't for Zhang Chen's exhibition, ambassadors and consular reporters from various countries would also I didn't know there were such painters in their country. When thinking about this, Zhang Chen felt that the migration of the National Art College during the war was remarkable. They had preserved an entire generation of artists in this country as a whole. From the National Art College to the Southwest Associated University, isn't it the same? The cultural context of this country has not been interrupted because of this. Isn't it just the cuckoo crying for blood of a generation of intellectuals? They were also the backbone of the war era, not just the soldiers of the Kuomintang and the Communist Party who fought bloody battles with guns on the battlefield. Zhang Chen asked Lu Qing, can it be explained in this way? Lu Qing thought for a while and said, let's forget it. Don't add extraneous matters, just focus on the work itself. Zhang Chen looked at Lu Qing, who smiled bitterly and shook his head. Zhang Chen understood, and he said okay, let's talk about the works themselves. Xiaoshu, which works do you feel deeply about? Xiaoshu said it one by one, and Zhang Chen said yes, then you will focus on these. I will only supplement these works. Xiaoshu said yes. After closing, they entered the exhibition hall and started taking pictures. I don't know how long it took. When Zhang Chen was introducing a work by a Vietnamese painter, he suddenly stuttered while talking. Lu Qing was surprised. She saw Zhang Chen looking behind her. Lu Qing turned around and found that Xiao Fang had arrived at some point and was standing next to Tan Shahan. Lu Qing said hello to Xiao Fang, and the camera stopped. Lu Qing joked, what's going on, brother Zhang, why do you stutter when you see sister Xiao Fang? Tan Shahan, Zhao Xian, and Xiao Shu all laughed. Zhang Chen and Xiao Fang's faces turned slightly red. Lu Qing said, that's not true, brother Zhang. In the United States, Sister Xiaofang has followed us so many times for filming. Tan Shahen whispered a few words in her ear. Lu Qing nodded and chuckled. She said, I understand. It turns out that brother Zhang is not used to bragging in front of his wife. Zhang Chen and Xiaofang's faces turned red completely. Lu Qing raised her hands to them and said, Congratulations. As for the camera and lighting, they also went to the United States to shoot together that time. They knew Xiaofang very well, and they also started to make noises. Lu Qing pouted and said to Xiaofang, Sister Xiaofang, there is no way, we can't continue like this. Can you avoid it and go to Zhao Xian's office to wait? Zhang Chen also shouted, wait for us to have supper together. Xiaofang walked away and continued here. They took the photo until about 12 o'clock, and Lu Qing said it was okay. That would be it for today and they would continue tomorrow. A large group of people went to the seafood stall next to the Huanglong Stadium for a late-night snack. They ate for more than an hour. Afterwards, Xiaofang ordered a lot more and told the boss that he wanted to take it away. Everyone said goodbye here. Tan Shahen, Xiaoshu, and Lu Qing left. Zhang Chen and Xiaofang were here, continuing to wait for their orders. The two stood side by side. Zhang Chen asked Xiaofang, who should I order? Xiaofang said, Wu Huan and the other kids are still working overtime. Can you come with me and take a look? Zhang Chen said yes, then thought about it and asked, how did you come back? You didn't drive, did you? No, I took the latest high-speed train back. Xiaofang said and Zhang Chen nodded, yes, from now on you should not drive alone. It is safer to take the high-speed rail. I know. Xiaofang bumped him with her elbow and smiled. The two people drove to the house next to Tan Shahen's house and went in with their vest bags. There were 5 or 6 people in the room, working in front of the computer. Zhang Chen saw the round-faced girl Wu Huan, leaning on the sofa and falling asleep. Seeing them entering, Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang stood up, called Xiaofang boss, and nodded to Zhang Chen. Xiaofang asked them if they had any midnight snacks. I ate instant noodles, Sheng Chunyang said. I brought it for you, let's eat some more, Xiaofang said, and she and Zhang Chen put the vest bags in their hands on the coffee table. Several people gathered around to take a look. They saw that there were salt and pepper shrimps, ginger and onion crabs, fried squid, braised pomfret and bream, etc., as well as fried dried seafood noodles. It was very rich. Everyone cheered, even Wu Huan, who was sleeping, was noisy. When he woke up and saw Xiaofang, Wu Huan rubbed his eyes and called the boss. Wu Huan, Wu Yu, and Sheng Chunyang need no introduction. They had dinner together last time at Tuxianjiayuan, and the other 3 are newly recruited programmers. Zhang Chen knew that they were building a community shopping website called Ladies Street. Zhang Chen asked Xiaofang, when are you going to launch it? No, 18, Xiaofang said. Zhang Chen became interested as soon as he heard it. While Wu Yu and the others were eating supper around the coffee table, he sat down at Wu Yu's seat and watched. When they came back from eating, Zhang Chen and Wu Yu said that the color scheme of the template and homepage could be changed, and you could give it a try. Wu Yu was doubtful, but he still changed it according to Zhang Chen's words. Who made him the boss? But after the change, Wu Yu's eyes lit up. He felt that he was indeed much more beautiful than before. Boss, Wu Yu shouted, boss, let me know if there is anything else that needs to be modified. Zhang Chen told him a few things that he still felt were lacking. Wu Yu made changes based on what he said and was immediately convinced. As a result, the entire website looked even more perfect than the original one. Sheng Chunyang watched from the side and couldn't help but ask, Mr. Zhang, where did you learn this skill? Zhang Chen smiled and said, I used to make a website myself, but that was several years ago. Now I have forgotten how to make a web page. Xiaofang said, don't be dissatisfied. The original version of Dabao.com was modified with his help. Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang were doubtful and asked Zhang Chen, "Is this true?" Zhang Chen suddenly saw that night again, when he and He Hongmei ran to Zheng Huiyang's office. Zhang Chen nodded and said, "I helped them a little." Wu Yu and Sheng Chunyang were immediately in awe. Wu Yu said, "It turns out to be a senior, disrespectful." Thank you Wang Lu, Dao Duweng, Book Friends 854-623, Daos Hung 123, and Yuan Wang for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you a nice weekend. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 1721. At noon the next day, Tan Shuhen arrived at Zhang Chen's office and told him that all the procedures for the reconstruction of the dynamic zone were complete and you could start construction. Great, Zhang Chen shouted. Are you going to design it yourself, or leave it to Jason and the others? Tan Shuhen asked. I want to do it myself, Zhang Chen said. Tan Shuhen smiled, I knew you wanted to be a mother again and give birth to a baby yourself. I'll go. You said that my functions are too complete, Zhang Chen cursed. Lu Qing has already called back and asked her assistant to start reporting their plans for their European trip to Taiwan. Lu Qing and Zhang Chen said that when the plan is finalized, Taiwan's External Relations Department and those art galleries and museums will finalize the filming. The matter will take about half a month, and they are expected to set off in early to mid-April. In this way, Zhang Chen would design the renderings of the dynamic zone beforehand and hand them over to Tan Shuhen and their Architectural Design Institute. Once this project starts, it must be completed within a year, otherwise it will definitely be unbearable for so many merchants inside. In the afternoon, Lao Tan came over, and Zhang Chen called Hagen over. The three of them began to discuss how the entire project should be operated. The most difficult thing for them is that no matter how tight the construction deadline is, all the hundreds of stores below will be closed within a year, and their business will be interrupted. They cannot say that they will go there this year. First look for a store outside, and after a year, when you have built it here, they will move it back. What kind of business can be interrupted for a year? The second is that in the same wholesale market, the location of the store is very critical. That is, 4 stores of the same size on the same floor, when good stores and poor stores are transferred, the prices will be quite different. And there is another characteristic, that is, the bigger the brand, they will care about the advertising space outside the building, but they don't care so much about the location inside the store, because it is very simple, their stores are very large, and consumers no matter where they are. Whichever passage you enter, whichever staircase or elevator you go up, you will reach them. Moreover, their products are not repetitive. Even if the shoes are of the same style, with or without the Nike logo, the distance is widened. Most people who buy Nike will go straight to its stores when they come, no matter where the store is. These brands are the most supportive of Zhang Chen and his team's renovation. After the renovation, their space suddenly increased, which is what they value most. Careful about location, the more difficult ones are those small brands and small dealers. Hagen said, this can be easily solved. Our original business area was 2.5 floors, and now it is 5 floors. And after moving the front and rear parking lots underground, the single-story area is even larger than before. In addition, those big international brands used to be scattered on the 1st to 3rd floors, but now they are concentrated on the 5th and 6th floors, which means the area on the lower 3 floors has become larger. For the original merchants, we can keep the floors unchanged, that is, you were originally on the 1st floor, and we will give you the 1st floor. It was originally on the 2nd floor, and this time it will be the 2nd floor. We first plan the location of the internal stores. Internal lottery, after the lottery, some people must be dissatisfied, isn't there an extra empty store, I will let you choose again. Zhang Chen nodded and said, this method is good, and it is the limit of what we can do. Someone will definitely ask me where I was before and where I will be after it is demolished. This is impossible. Our passages, gates, the positions of the stairs and elevators have been changed, the internal atrium needs to be expanded, and the internal layout has been changed. How can we ensure that the original demolition and original construction can be guaranteed? Don't be afraid of this. There is such a person. We have given you 2 opportunities to choose. If you are still not satisfied, then we can only cancel the lease according to the contract and compensate him for 3 months' rent, Hagen said. Zhang Chen said yes, that's it. After the internal lottery is over and the agreement is re-signed, we will start demolition again, so there will be no sequelae, Hagen said. There are still many shops, and we will attract investment after they open. Zhang Chen nodded, and the matter was settled. Then he turned back to discuss the first thing. Zhang Chen said, I have been thinking about this for the past 2 days. Our original purpose of this reconstruction was to transfer part of the wholesale function to the logistics space. Sooner or later, wholesale markets will not be allowed to exist in the city center, which is inevitable for urban development. In this case, I'm wondering if we can take this one step first, that is, build the dynamic zone wholesale center at the logistics space first and put it into use. In this way, even if this place is demolished, the wholesale of these merchants, the business has not been interrupted, only part of the retail business has been interrupted, and for some retail businesses, they will still go there. Hagen slapped his thigh and said, okay, this will make the work easier. Zhang Chen said, at the logistics space, the rent for this year can be waived. There is no need to waive it, just half the charge will be enough, Hagen said. Zhang Chen thought for a while and said, forget it, let's waive it all. No matter what, we always bring trouble to others, and harmony makes money. We also hope that their business will get better and better. Hagen said, okay, that's it. Zhang Chen and Lao Tan said, brother, in this case, the logistics space will trouble you. Xiao Wu and I have calculated that there are not so many remaining warehouses. There is still a difference of more than 3,000 square meters, and new ones need to be built. This place can't be demolished until the logistics space is completed and all the merchants here have moved there. Okay, Lao Tan said, there is no need to go through the formalities there, and the drawings are ready. I will let them come in tomorrow. The warehouse of more than 3,000 square meters will be taken over within 2 months. Okay, Zhang Chen said, thank you, brother. Zhang Chen turned to Hagen, brother Hagen, do you think this is okay? Hagen said yes. Hagen walked out, and Lao Tan was getting up to say goodbye. Zhang Chen said, brother, please wait a moment. I asked Hui Huan to come. We will also discuss the hotel on the 6th floor. Only after we have agreed upon it can I start designing. Old Tan sat down again. Zhang Chen walked to his desk, picked up the phone on the desk, called Zhao Jingjing and asked her, is Hui Huan at your place? Zhao Jingjing said yes and she would come right away. Hui Huan walked in and saw Lao Tan, so she called Big Brother, and Lao Tan asked Hui Huan to come over and sit down. Zhang Chen poured a glass of water, walked over, placed it in front of Hui Huan, and sat down himself. Zhang Chen told Hui Huan about the idea of renovating the dynamic zone and turning the entire 6th floor into the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. Hui Huan asked. The store on Yan'an Road. When the time comes, it will be freed up and rented to others. Otherwise, the business of 2 hotels so close to each other will definitely conflict, Zhang Chen said. Lao Tan said with a smile, it's not that there will be a conflict. This big store will definitely destroy my small store on Yan'an Road. How big is it here? Hui Huan asked. 18,000 square meters, Zhang Chen said. So big? Hui Huan was startled. How many tables can be set up? There are probably more than 600 seats for the 10-person table. Hui Huan took a breath of cold air, and Zhang Chen asked with a smile, what, are you scared? It's not that I'm afraid. More than 6,000 people are eating at the same time. It's scary to think about it. How many people are needed in the kitchen and how many waiters are needed, Hui Huan said. So I want you to come over and discuss it together to see how we can lay it out, Zhang Chen said. I heard that there were more than 6,000 people, and my brain exploded. Let alone more than 6,000 people, there were more than 6,000 mosquitoes. How noisy would it be? The first one is how to let so many people eat together without making a fuss. Otherwise, the guests will be frightened and shout and talk while eating. Who dares to come next time? Hui Huan said. Zhang Chen, don't talk about it. Hui Huan got to the point right away, Old Tan said. Hui Huan smiled, I stay in hotels every day and have personal experience. I am afraid to enter the noisy lobby of several stores, let alone the guests. I am still thinking about how to transform these stores. Zhang Chen nodded. He also felt that what Hui Huan said was very reasonable. When he was making a decoration plan, he focused on the effect of the decoration. In terms of functionality, he did not consider much, and many of them were not considered at all. There are many designs that look good on paper, and the effect is also very good after decoration, but when they are actually put into use, some problems come out. Many times, good-looking things really can't be eaten as food. Hui Huan, please write to me later on which stores you feel are the noisiest. I'll go and see what's causing it. When designing this store, I'll try to figure out how to avoid it, Zhang Chen Hui Huan said. Hui Huan nodded. Since the area is so large, can we use part of the area to use as supporting facilities for our hotel? Hui Huan asked. The hotel's supporting facilities, Zhang Chen thought this was very new and asked, what supporting facilities? I also discovered this when I was in the store. Customers have this demand. For example, many customers, especially children, do not like the drinks provided in our store. They like to drink milk tea. Can we open it in our store? A milk tea shop? Open an ice cream shop? Also, many guests want to continue chatting after eating, but it is really uncomfortable to sit in the dining area. Can we set up a coffee shop and tea house so that they can have a drink after eating without getting off the elevator? Tea and coffee, it would be even better if there is a foot bath shop, and you can go soak your feet after dinner, Hui Huan said. Zhang Chen and Lao Tan looked at each other and laughed. Lao Tan said, okay, Hui Huan, you really touched my heart. I went out to eat. When I finished eating, there is really such a demand. More than 6,000 diners are a large consumer population in themselves, plus people from the shopping mall below will go up there, so I think it's okay, Zhang Chen said, make this part a relatively independent space, that is to say, even if your hotel is closed, it will not affect their business, as long as you can do this. Thank you Quadratic VC, Zhengji, 2 fish 1 up and 1 down for the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you to Hua and Young Man, Lang 68, Zipanjiang 1, San Ran Daxia, Gongzimian Z, and monthly votes for Cao Xiaoman, Daodu, Xuanlin, Ermao, Su Yuinian, Zhengji, and Lao Chantang. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health.